We'll wait just a minute and get started. Definitely pull out your notes if you're here just for fun. That's always good. We might have some clients on joining us, but you might also be an esthetician, be one of my students, one of our alumni, or be someone that has been to our CEU classes. So we're going to go through a little bit of the website just to show you, of course, where you can purchase things. For those professionals, I'll show you where that is too, because I want to make sure you guys get the very best discounts always, so that's important. But then of course you're here because we're going to talk about layered chemical peels, so definitely get your notes out. I want you to understand exactly how to do all of these peels and what you can layer them with. So for those of you that are new to Courtney Sykes Molecular Anti-Aging, I will tell you a little bit about the product line. It is one of those things where I have really enjoyed taking and customizing things that I personally couldn't find from other lines. And y'all know me, I love all sorts of brands that are clinical based in nature. That is who I'm about. So I love a little bit from every person, every line. But one thing about this product line is you have at-home chemical peel options. You have ways to customize your serums. You have some different things you can do to blend and make just different results happen, you know? So a lot of that stuff comes from things that we teach here at Southeastern Aesthetics Institute, but also is relatively easy for consumers to also understand. I've been shipping out to tons of folks all over the country. We have lots of accounts everywhere. So the first thing I'll do is just kind of show you around the website before we get into talking about the layering, which is the best part. If you like cooking in the kitchen, you're going to love layering chemical peels. That's always fun. But of course, here we are on the website. If y'all will hover over professionals here at the top, the little tab, you'll see a couple of options. We have professional products, which is where we're going to live for this little meeting today, this little Zoom meeting. But then if you are interested in becoming a professional and you do not already have a Courtney Sykes Pro account, we have different tiers, okay? So we have suite level, premier, and we have, of course, executive level. Of course, the higher up you are towards executive, the more discounts you're going to receive. If you are a student or alumni at Southeastern Aesthetics Institute, you get, of course, the very best discount. So we reserve that for those people. So please enjoy. We want everybody to be able to get everything they need at the best cost per ounce on what it is you're receiving. So of course, things like stem cells and peptides are going to be a little bit more expensive because what's in the product, whereas your brightening molecules and some of the purifying molecules and some of those can be very inexpensive with your discount. So please, please enjoy that. So I'll click here just so you can see. If you will, type in your name, of course, your title, your email address, your business name, your phone number, and then your license number. If you are a student of mine or someone that is in queue to receive your license as a nurse, anesthetician, cosmetologist, or physician, you can just simply type in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and I will honor that. So just make sure if you are in queue to receive your license and do not have a license number yet, I will not fault you for that. I know there's lots going on this year. So we want to make sure that you have your pro account and can access your logins. There are no minimums and all that good stuff. We want to make sure you're good to go. And right now, through the rest of the month, through May, because today's May 1st, you can get free shipping on all pro account items, on all consumer account items by entering free at checkout. So that's really nice. Okay. If you hover over molecular skincare, guys, you can click into cleansers, you can click into the scrubs. Y'all know I love me a granular scrub that helps things to penetrate deeper. You're going to hover over nourishing serums, and I do want to speak to this before we get into layered chemical peels, just so you understand what these mean, because I'm going to speak to it a little bit. Nourishing serums, when I speak to my students, what is a nourisher? Nourishers are ingredients that ultimately do what? They build cells up. So therefore, you're not going to receive any peeling, any drier skin with that, no downtime, which everybody loves. But I always say you have to have an acid, right, in order to then build up good cell growth. You cannot simply apply nourishers all the time and expect to receive results. You have to throw in some of those acidic items. So you're going to see a couple here. There are more if you click into it. So people love that Ferulic Plus C in the morning, guys. That's a phenomenal one. It is currently, I'm waiting on that shipment to come in. I think we have 500 more coming because that's such a big item. I think it's shipping out today from the lab, so we're excited. Plasma drops are phenomenal. It's got a very key ingredient called perfluorodecalan that is kind of a better ingredient than what I would call benzoyl peroxide. If you're an aesthetic student of mine or an alumni or an esthetician in general, you know that benzoyl peroxide is an oxygen molecule that goes deep down into the skin to kill bacteria, but it gives off that chemical. If y'all remember chemistry, and I love teaching chemistry, it really causes oxidation, which is kind of how metal turns into rust. It's not oxygen like you think of O2, the air you breathe. It's more of oxidative stress. So we don't want to use benzoyl peroxide if we have to. For those proactive lovers, I'm sorry, it ain't good for you, right? It's more carcinogenic than anything. So perfluorodecalan is actually an oxygenating chemical compound that really creates oxygen in more of a natural way that's not carcinogenic. So that is lovely. And you're going to receive that bacteria reduction, and it's just a beautiful thing. So the plasma drops are great for grades 3 and 4 acne, but also for people with dehydrated skin, people that smoke, people that need that oxygen flow into their pores without the carcinogenic benefits of some of the other products out there that might promise the same thing. So that's wonderful. Stem cell drops are one of my favorite ones because that's going to truly get in there and produce new cells without breaking cells down. So stem cells, as we know, can come from human or plant-based sources. What I love about our stem cells is that they come from a nice plant-based source, specifically a rare Swiss apple. So we extract that in the lab and it goes directly into the serum in order to create new cell growth. And I will tell you, I actually have the back bar size of this at home, and I applied that up underneath my makeup this morning. And so all I have on is a little bit of mineral powder, and that's it, guys. So I love these stem cell drops. It is my go-to. The peptide drops are great. I'm going to show you actually how to customize with that in a minute. It's got 6 different peptides in it. So if you remember what peptides are, or if you don't, peptides kind of create a chain link fence that tightens up the skin. So when I was going through esthetician school and going through college, you know, there was nothing topically that actually would tighten your skin instantaneously and give you that long-term kind of, you know, building structure that really pulls everything upwards. So the peptides that come out over the last 5 to 10 years are just so innovative to me. I get so excited speaking to it because you've got things like palmitoyl tripeptide 5, tetrapeptide 15, oligopeptide 17, and the list goes on. You know, but as long as you're looking at the ingredient label and it's got the word peptide in it, you can just kind of think, for a short definition for those of you taking notes, and it's going to really create that chain link fence in order to create peptide amino acid bonds that really pull everything up. So peptide drops inherently will always be tightening, so you'll feel that on the skin. So you need to know that about the peptide drops before applying it. So it's a great thing to apply up underneath something else, right? Like the peptide molecular cream, the hyaluronic molecular cream, or even the lipid drops, which is a big popular item, as you guys know. Then our nourishing creams you'll see here. If you click into that, we only have the 2, the hyaluronic molecular cream and the peptide molecular cream. Of course, these are our retail prices and you can get your discounts as a professional. So make sure you go in now and request those things so I can give you a login as soon as we're done with this meeting today. Those are amazing and you will love them. So we love nourishing creams, but y'all know that nothing is really anything unless you do your serums first. Smaller molecular structures have to happen in order for you to get that change and that result you're looking for. So y'all know I'm a huge lover of serums, a huge lover of peels. And as long as you know that, I promise you, I've got you all good to go. You're in the right hands when it comes to molecular skincare and doing it the right way. Then acidic serums, if you'll look at this one, guys, okay? Acidic serums, anything in the molecule family, you see those, the whitening, purifying, plumping, resurgence, and brightening, those are all 5 of those, okay? So I always say collect all 5, so those are great. I'll probably do a little holiday collection or something this year where we box these up because you have to have them all. And this is a short definition of each. So remember, they're all many chemical peels. And inherently, you can leave these on the skin, or you can buffer them down and kind of mix it with one of your creams or mix it with one of your nourishing serums. So many wonderful things, but here's your short definition on those. So the whitening molecules, you've got arbutin in it, alpha arbutin. And arbutin is a nice natural version of hydroquinone. And y'all know I love me some hydroquinone, but what is hydroquinone? Hydroquinone is inherently carcinogenic too. We love hydroquinone for the benefits it gives for hormonal hyperpigmentation, for even cystic acne that's hormonal too. That's kind of an off-label thing that it does. So the whitening molecules truly help you achieve those results for brightening, lightening, and tightening, all within a nice natural version of hydroquinone known as arbutin. So write that down. You need to have that one. That one is a big one. We love that. The purifying molecules have 7.5% salicylic acid in there. So for those of you that have acne issues, or for those of you that have bigger pores through the T-zone, that is perfect for you. Now, here's how I would say to use the molecules, by the way, as well. You don't want to use them every night. You want to use one every other night to receive the results that you want to achieve. Because when you use acids all the time, what happens? You're going to aggravate the skin too much, and then you're going to have kind of the opposite result happen. But when you want real change real quick, you need to use these molecules, guys, but use it just every other night. And that's the biggest thing I could just share with you about molecular skincare or clinical grade skincare from any aesthetics practitioner is you need to always be changing, right? Never do the same thing twice in a row at night. That is one of my biggest suggestions for you. Then the resurgence molecules, that's 7.5% glycolic acid. And I'll go back to plumping. I see I went over that one. But the resurgence molecules, that is 7.5% glycolic. Glycolic acid produces new cells. So who needs new cells? People with deep lines and wrinkles, scarring, anything like that. You need that for incredible results. The only two ingredients in that product, guys, are water and glycolic acid. How many ingredient labels do you see that only have two things in it? Probably nothing. So this is as pure as you can get, and you will absolutely love it. The resurgence molecules actually now come in the amber jar too, so that you can just keep it for a little bit longer. So you're gonna love that. And then back to the plumping molecules, this is a huge seller right now. This one I'm waiting on the lab, from the lab as well, because this one's sold out, but I love the plumping molecules. This is 7.5% lactic acid. So lactic acid exfoliates yet hydrates for incredible new cell growth and plumping action that we love. I use this one a good bit, and I'm more of an oilier skin, but I'm, in my mid-30s now, so I need to focus on anti-aging and just keeping everything plumped up, and I most certainly don't want to be too dry when I am going through that process of using acids. So folks typically love the lactic acid, right? Because you have that exfoliation, yet a little bit of hydration finish for incredible outcomes. So you'll enjoy that. And then the brightening molecules, and you see the price points on these are not too crazy. The arbutin's a little bit harder to obtain for the lab, so that one's probably the pricier one, but of course if you're a professional, all of these are even cheaper than these retail costs. The brightening molecules though have 7.5% kojic acid in it. So for those of you that understand kojic, it is the only alpha hydroxy acid that brightens the skin. This one's great to pair with the whitening molecules. So you might want to do the whitening molecules one night, the brightening molecules the next night, and pair it with the peptide molecular cream or the lipid drops or the water drops, superfoods drops, something else, to break it up a little bit so you don't have just acids all the time. But that is great. So you'll have the arbutin for the lightening. You'll have the kojic acid for the brightening. So for those of you dealing with hormonal hyperpigmentation, you will love the effects of that. Did y'all get that? I hope you did. Okay, then I've got one acidic cream that's the Resurgence 10% cream. That has got your 10% glycolic acid in it. So for those of you watching, I will tell you who I've shipped this out to this week. People that have actinic keratosis on the backs of their arms, people that have aging or thickened leathery skin on their neck and chest, okay? And for those pregnant clients of mine, glycolic acid is super safe for pregnant women. This is the baby belly go-to. So this helps to prevent and alleviate stretch marks because glycolic acid produces new cells. So for those of you expecting, or for those of you that know someone that is expecting, I will tell you this is the best gift. This is the best thing that they can use for that baby bump in order to keep that skin flexible and taut and happy. So there's no stretch marks happening and everything's good to go. I'll share with you the collections really quick before we get into the layering, which is fun. We'll go to the professional site. The collection series, this is a lot of fun. And I'll tell you, you do not have to refrigerate your items for sure, but I will give you the just kind of more honest, option here. And it's just science at the end of the day. If you refrigerate your serums, it's going to last longer. And I love the way it feels. So oftentimes it's often, more or less how it feels on your skin going on in the morning. It kind of wakes you up a little bit. I love this. And I've used the Cooluli fridges for a long time. I've got one at home before we even decided to add this to our collection series. But you see the gold collection, it's paired with a couple of them. The Hydro Glow set is extremely popular. The Awakening set, I'm mailing out some more right after this is over with. And then the Pro collection is really, really exciting too. So we've been shipping these out all over the world and people love those. So just make sure if you have any questions about the fridges, holler. I will say that if you have cold facial globes or if you have your jade rollers or gua sha tools, I would stick it in the top tier of that little mini fridge and then put your serums at the bottom, and you can take your lipid drops or your super boost drops or whatever, apply it to your skin, and then take your jade roller and just really infuse it into the skin that way. And I'm gonna tell you what, that is the best thing to wake up to. It's a treat for your skin. So I highly recommend the Pro collections. And another thing for the professionals, these are already discounted collections, but if you want to even get another discount on top of a discount, the professionals, if you have a professional login, you can get even more of a discount on this. So this actually is probably the best little cost savings area of the whole website. So make sure you do kind of notate that if you're looking to save some dollars. Okay, if y'all will hover over the professional little category, click on professional products. We're going to go there. Okay, so I recommend this because, the bigger something is, the better cost savings we can give to you. And of course, these are the, just retail price points. These will be even cheaper for the professional folks. So the Pro Illuminizing Cleanser is great. I have this one at home. I used this to wash my face this morning, as a matter of fact. So that's great. So for those of you in the treatment room, you're going to want to pair your skin peel layering with your double cleansing, correct? So you're going to choose the Illuminizing Cleanser as first cleanse. That's my highest recommendation. You'll do eye makeup remover, okay, with the Pro Molecular Water. That is exciting and important. Love that. And then here's what I would do for second cleanse, in my opinion, because everybody can use the Pro Purifying Cleanser, and here's what it's got in it: the glycolic, the lactic, and the salicylic. So glycolic for producing new cells, a lactic for exfoliating it, hydrating, and salicylic for eating away dirt and debris in the pores and really tightening everything up. But the Purifying Cleanser is probably one of our biggest sellers because it is a very big, just a creamy cleanser. So oftentimes people that have their acids in cleansers, it typically feels dry on the skin. We were able to work with the lab to figure out a way to make something creamy they can also have acids in there and deliver those results to your skin without over drying your skin out. Because my biggest thing too is lipid barrier protection of your cells. We do not want to strip the lipid barrier off of our cellular membrane of our skin cells, because otherwise your skin's going to get more dry or more oily dependent upon how your DNA naturally is. But you wonder sometimes, why is this cleanser not working, or why do I feel too dry or too oily? Your cleansers are so important. I have a new cleanser coming out this year. We are working with a lab. We have several things in line, and I'll tell you what they are. Let's see if I can remember it all. We have a bunch, and bless my husband, he's been helping me with this. We've got the Forever Cleanser coming out. You're going to love that one. It's got rosehip seed oil in it. Woo, that one's going to be a good one. It's called the Forever Cleanser. We're going to have that in retail and back bar size. We have a new neutralizer coming out for the professional peels, which is wonderful. We actually have sanitizers, hand sanitizers we're launching, of course, due to everything going on these days. That's so important. So those will be available to you guys in gorgeous packaging. So you can have your little lineup of stuff in your treatment room looking all nice and professional, right? Then we have 3 masks coming. You're going to be obsessed with those. I have designed the labels myself for all these new launches, by the way. So they're going to be way different than what you're seeing in front of you, but still in line with the brand, of course. So I'm excited about that. Then We have 2 sunscreens launching, the Guardian set. We have one that is non-tinted and we have one tinted version. And I will tell you, that's what's on my skin right now in lieu of liquid foundation is our tinted Guardian sunscreen. And it's got peptides in there for tightening and no octinoxate, octisalate, and oxybenzone, which, as y'all know, I've preached on this before. All those O words are carcinogenic ingredients that are in most, unfortunately, FDA approved sunscreens. So look at your sunscreens you have for your children. You can actually read articles about how octinoxate, octisalate, and oxybenzone are really terrible for especially young children that are building their immune system, and applying those this summer is really doing yourself a disservice and doing a disservice to your family. So the more you learn about ingredients, the better. And that's something that I love to educate on. So make sure that you have sunscreens that are O-free, right? No octinoxate, no octisalate, no oxybenzone. Okay, those are bad. So what do you want to look for in sunscreen? Do you want to look for things like zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, nice mineral-based sunscreen options that are not going to irritate your skin? They're not going to clog your pores. So physical sunscreens rather than chemical sunscreens are always the way to go. I highly recommend it. So just wait for that. The Guardian ones are awesome. And I designed the labels for that too, and I can't wait to show you. It's got lots of gold and lots of nice, you know, shimmery metallic finish to the logo as well. And I'm dying for my lab to launch that for me. So you will know as soon as I know when that's coming out, and I can't wait for you to try it. All these are going to be available in retail and back bar size. So of course we want you to get the best value possible. But back to this, when you're doing your double cleanse, it's so important. So remember I said the illuminizing cleanser paired with your molecular water for cleanse 1. For cleanse number 2, you're going to pair the purifying cleanser with a little bit of your Pro Molecular Resurfacing Scrub. Now this molecular resurfacing scrub is a little pricey due to the size. It's in a tub like really big, this huge. So you will not run out of it anytime soon. Of course, we do have this available a little bit less expensive in the retail size. So that is another option for you as well. But that goes a long way. Little goes a long way. So you're going to mix a little bit of the professional molecular resurfacing scrub in with your purifying cleanser for that double cleanse, and then hot towel remove. Okay. I highly recommend some good massage in between. Then we're going to come back to these serums because we just kind of discussed them, but I'll give you a quick overview of what's in them. And we're going to get to the peels and how you can layer in some of the serums or layer some of the peels. Okay. So the Pro Collagen Drops, that has got your hyaluronic acid in there, but also some really tightening peptides. So you will love the collagen drops. If anything, that is a great product for back bar, great product for your clients, great product for you. It just feels like silk going onto your skin. You will love it. But look what just launched, our Pro Lipid Drops in 4 ounces. These are big bottles, guys. You will love this one. This is flying off the shelves. My entire staff has grabbed a ton of these already, and so have the students. So if you're a student or alumni listening, you might want to pop in today before 3 o'clock and snag one of these because these are going, and of course you get a cheaper price point with your alumni discount. But this one is big. You know, the lipid drops have squalene in it and a bunch of other ceramides, but in such a way to where it's going to feel nice and light on your skin. It really soaks right in, but you feel like you just had a hydrofacial. You really do. The lipid drops, your skin just never has felt so good. I am so thrilled with the formulation on this. I cannot even tell you. I tested this out on a neighbor of mine at the time, and he had eczema and psoriasis on his legs. And I had a couple of different versions of this that I was testing before we launched the product last year. And there was one that was too oily and, you know, another one that was too this or that or the other. So we finally found this right concoction, and it really treats eczema and psoriasis. It treats dry skin, but it also is perfect for oily skin. And I cannot live without this, guys, and neither can my clients. We ship this so much. It is not even funny. I cannot even tell you. So we're thrilled that this finally came into play. And my students were the ones that said, can you please get this in a bigger bottle? That wasn't my original launch for the professional size. I didn't even think, that was going to be such a big deal, but the lipid drops have been a huge seller. So you'll love that for after every single chemical peel, okay, after every one. Then your purifying molecules, that is a chemical peel, okay, I will tell you right now. So that one I want to make sure is in a different category so it doesn't confuse you. That is a 7.5% salicylic peel. So we're going to come back to that one. Then your Pro Stem Cell drops are great. You will love that. Of course, stem cells, we talked about that in the retail size. We now have that in the Pro size. Then the Pro Water Drops is straight up hyaluronic acid, the best formulation of hyaluronic acid you will ever find, that penetrates from the top and the bottom of the epidermis, whereas a lot of hyaluronic acids or sodium hyaluronate only kind of sits at the top. This one is the most newest form out there, and you will love it. It just soaks in hydration into your skin. It's incredible. Okay, so here we are. The professional peels, guys, let's talk about these in groups, and we're going to talk about how to layer them. So here's what I want y'all to do. If you have any questions after this chat, you can email me at customercare@CourtneySykes.com. Okay, and I'll even give you my cell phone, and y'all can text me, because I text with everybody, and I feel like that's how everybody communicates anyway, and I totally don't mind, so text me anytime. My cell phone number is 803-629-0658. So I'll say that one more time, so that way if you have a question and I don't answer something, you can text it to me, 803-629-0658. Or of course, you can email customercare@CourtneySykes.com. Okay, so the awakening peels are incredible. I love applying these to my feet for, retention hyperkeratosis, which is all that thick, dead skin we have oftentimes, or even on our chest, or even our arms, for folks that have keratosis pilaris or any kind of uneven skin tone texture, what have you. So if you look at one of these, we'll click into it. The awakening peel 35% is, of course, 35% concentration, and of course the 50 is a little bit more. I always say purchase the two. These are always low in pH, so of course professionals will totally appreciate the pH levels, right? But this has got your glycolic, lactic, and pyruvic blend. Pyruvic acid is an acid that is not as spoken about, but it's going to help to kind of remove and degrease the skin so that the glycolic and lactic can truly get delivered in a great way. So here's what you got. You've got a layer of awakening peel. So if this makes sense to you, hear me out. If you're an esthetician, you know that this is an AHA blend, right? Glycolic and lactic. So what you'll do is you'll apply one layer of this, a thin layer, because this is inherently a little bit thicker, okay? And you're going to wait 1 to 2 minutes. So watch your clock. Then you can do a couple of different things. So let's back out of this, okay? What I recommend, because most of you know if you're an esthetician, is salicylic acid is a self-neutralizing agent. So what I would do, if you're going to grab the Awakening Peel series, those two, I would snag the Purity Peel 15% or the Purity Peel 30%. Those are salicylic acid like you would not believe. So look at the pHs on these Purity Peels. This is a pH of 2.5. So you can do a layer of the 30% salicylic right on top of that. But again, you need to wait till the Awakening Peel is dry. So 1 to 2 minutes. Then you're going to apply this. You'll see a little bit of crystallization and you will love it. So that way you don't have to worry about removing the Awakening Peel too soon. You can even leave those on in that combination for up to 10 minutes. If it's too spicy for you or too spicy for your client, you're going to remove after 5. Okay. But remember, salicylic acid self-neutralizes, so that's always a great way to layer. So we'll back up one more time and scoot back up to the top because I want to show you one of my absolute favorites. Now, this one, I don't want it to scare you because I'll tell you, everybody can do it and every Fitzpatrick type can do it. You just ease yourself into it. So the Brightening Peel 50%. Let's look at the pH of this one. It's a pH of 0.9, but it's okay. So do not panic on this one. This has got your 50% glycolic, 2% kojic, and 1% lactic and pyruvic and a gel base, okay? So again, pyruvic acid helps to degrease the skin so that glycolic, lactic, and kojic can get delivered in there. So again, this is another AHA combo. So for those of you that have clients that have really aggravating hormonal hyperpigmentation that you're trying to remove, and I'll tell you some of the most aggravating types are the kind that really develop on the neck for those that are more of a lighter Fitzpatrick and have the redder hyperpigmentation, or if you're kind of a Fitz 5, 6 and get some of that darker hyperpigmentation, this is a great one to build up to. So I would do the Awakening 35, Awakening 15, and then build up to the Brightening. So here's what you're going to do. you can take the brightening and you can apply one layer, let it dry, right? Apply another layer, let it dry. Or if you think that's too much, okay, if the pH is too low for you and you're a little bit worried about that, what I would do is I would mix in a couple of drops of your water drops with the hyaluronic acid, or a couple of drops of your lipid drops, which would be a great one to buffer this down. And you can really create just more of a seamless ease into this, okay? So that's more of something you can drop into there, mix it together and apply. Or you can do one layer of the brightening peel 50%, leave it on for a minute, and then do one layer of the lipid drops, okay? So there's a couple different ways you can do this, and there's really no right or wrong way, but the only thing I need you to remember that is your AHA peels, you know, for estheticians that know this information, your glycolic, lactic, kojics of them all, those need to be neutralized after 5 minutes. So all my peels that have your AHAs in it, you can remove with water. Wouldn't be the end of the world if you didn't neutralize it, but I highly recommend neutralizing it with a couple of things. So what would I say? You can neutralize all my peels with the molecular water if you didn't know that. That is very, very neutral, and it will help to pH balance the skin. You can take some little compresses or some little cotton rounds and just really compress that molecular water into the spicier areas after you remove the whole peel with water, and you're good to go. Or you can, of course, wait till we get the new neutralizer in, which is going to be launching here in the next couple of weeks. But the brightening peel would be something I would say every esthetician needs to have in their arsenal. It is a beautiful thing, and it's so customizable. You don't have to keep it at that 0.9 pH. You can buffer it, right? Like I said, with the lipid drops, the water drops, or even the collagen drops. So those are ways you can really just take it and do different things, okay? Now, if you're really trying to get something too, before I move on, if you have somebody with that thick, leathery skin that is also dealing with oily skin, you could do one layer of the brightening peel, okay? And then you can actually do one layer of the Purity 15 with the salicylic to self-neutralize, or one layer of the Purity Peel 30% to self-neutralize. But that would be a pretty hefty sort of a thing. So I would say ease yourself into that. You know your clients, and the thicker the skin, the more they can tolerate. And you know those clients that can't also. So there's ways to customize. You don't have this one size fits all thing. You always want to customize. All right. Then I'll tell you the best seller that we do have too is that dew peel, because y'all know people love lactic acid. So this is lactic acid 40%, the dew peel. Love that one because, of course, that is thick enough to where you can apply it by itself. But I'll tell you a good thing to put right up underneath it, okay, would be, let me see if I can locate it here, is this Resurgence Molecules. So remember, Resurgence Molecules is in 4 ounces too. That is a 7.5% glycolic acid chemical peel. So that is very watery. So you're going to take that and put it in a little bowl, and you can either fan brush it on or take a round cotton round, and you are going to apply a good layer of the Resurgence Molecules to your skin, okay? Then let that dry for 1 to 2 minutes. Do one good thick layer of the dew peel 40% because that's got a little thickness to it. Leave it on for 5 minutes total, and then remove and neutralize, okay? So that is a great option for folks that have anti-aging concerns, drier skin, lines, and wrinkles. Take that Resurgence Molecules, leave it on for a minute, and then put a nice thick layer of that dew peel on there, leave it on for 5, okay? So remember, you've got your glycolic, you have your lactic, all right? So of course, I'm speaking to people as though they know these ingredients and what the definitions are. If you have any questions, text me or email me, and I'm happy to answer. I love aesthetics so much. I love talking about it every day and every night. So let me know if you have any questions. Of course, you've got your brightening molecules, which is a 7.5% kojic acid chemical peel. The plumping molecules is a 7.5% lactic acid chemical peel. So you see how you have different concentration options for you. Then we did talk about the Purity Peel 15, the Purity Peel 30. If you're thinking about something to have in your back bar as an esthetician that really gives that bang and that punch and that customization, you need to have some professional level salicylic peels, even if it's not from my line, but from any line, because that is going to help you layer it up, get that nice pore tightening effect you're looking for. It's going to clean out the pores, and it really just gives you everything you need to customize these AHAs. Am I right? You always want to think, what can I do where I don't have to pull out that neutralizer so quickly? Or what do I do if I want to really treat anti-aging, but also acneic skin types or bigger pores? You know, you need to think about that. So I always say buy the two and you're good to go. Now, the Revelation peels come in a set of 3. So if you see here, the Revelation peel 15%, Revelation peel 35%, and then down here we go to Revelation peel 50%. So what is that? Okay. The Revelation peel series of 3, those are straight up glycolic peels. So y'all know what I've always said about glycolic. You never want to pair those with microdermabrasion. I'm also an esthetician that I love aggressiveness, as you know. However, I'm not one that will ever pair dermaplaning with glycolics. I think that is also a bad choice. If you have done that, great, do it. But you have more propensity to overprocess the client, dermaplaning and microdermabrating the skin and pairing it with glycolic peels than you do otherwise. So safety is so important. So if you look at these, of course, this is the 15% concentration, but all that's in here, guys, is glycolic acid and water. And that's it. So your pH levels are low. Again, if you want to bring the pHs up a little bit higher, you can mix in some of your nourishing back bar items. So what do we have that's back bar that's nourishing? Those stem cells. That would be a great thing to layer with this. So do 1 layer of the Revelation Peel 50%, do 1 layer of stem cells, leave on for a total of 5 minutes, remove, okay? Or you can customize it before you apply it. You can take the Revelation Peel 15%, add a couple of drops of the collagen drops, which is great for collagen production, and it buffers it a little bit. So that's good, you know, and then you can apply it. So there's ways to layer and there's ways to buffer, if that makes sense. And I love those choices. Okay, now the last one is that Jesner Detox Peel. And y'all know what Jesners are, okay? If you're an esthetician, you do. So you have got 14% glycolic, or not glycolic, I always want to say that, 14% lactic, 14% salicylic, and 14% resorcinol. Remember, resorcinol is in the alcohol family, and it's going to strip the skin and strip that lipid barrier off the skin to really produce results. But I want you to look at the pH here. This is probably the strongest pH for a Jesner that you've seen. So no big deal, and do not panic, okay? Look at what I do suggest here for your professional protocol. Now that we have those lipid drops in the pro size, double cleanse and prep the skin with lipid drops on the lips, nasolabial folds, and around the perimeter of the eyes and corners of the nose. So that is a great choice when you're doing any of these peels, but especially the Jesner, because you've got that AHA BHA blend, and that is the only one that we have that way. And that's what Jesners are known for, and we love that. So how can you customize? Let's think of a couple different options for the Jesner Detox Peel. So we know it's got lactic, and we know it's got salicylic, and we know it has resorcinol. So what does it not have? What does it not have? What you could do is this. You could layer 1 layer Jesner Detox, then backing up just to give you a visualization, then you could really up the lactic acid in it by, of course, putting a little bit of the dew peel on top of that. So that's a choice. Or, of course, I'm probably going over it. There it is. The resurgence molecules. You could take the 7.5% glycolic acid, which is not in your Jesner Detox, do 1 good layer of that, and then let that dry for 1 to 2 minutes, because you want it, when you're layering, you got to let things dry. You don't want to just go on top of one another consistently. Then you can apply 1 good layer of the Jesner Detox Peel. Now, because there is a very low pH of the Jesner Detox, I don't suggest doing more than 2 layers. And y'all know I love layering up some Jesners. Typically with more, you know, with a higher pH Jesner, I would suggest doing 4, 5, or even 6 layers to really frost it up. Now, with a lower pH, I do not suggest that, just for safety concerns. And what's going to happen when you layer, oftentimes, if you're not buffering it, it's going to cause the skin to darken up before it peels. And that's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because it's going to remove a lot of impurities, a lot of sun damage, a lot of hyperpigmentation. So it's going to darken up before it peels. And that's something you need to say to people very clearly before you move along, right? So again, I would take, in my opinion, this would be the best choice, would take that Pro Resurgence molecules, that 7.5% glycolic that produces new cells, lay that down, wait 1 to 2 minutes, and then do 1 layer of the Jesner Detox Peel. If you're feeling some kind of way, you could do 2, but I wouldn't suggest more than that. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to text me at 803-629-0658 if you have any questions. If you to reset your login for you, shoot me an email to customercare@CourtneySykes.com and you will get some great login information. You'll get your discounts for that. So make sure you click on professional login or become a professional if you need your login and then your professional products here. If you have any questions, let me know. I love you guys so much. I hope you have the best Friday ever. I hope you go outside and spend a little bit of it in the sun. It looks gorgeous outside. I love you and I hope you have a good one. We'll talk soon.